Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I wanted to talk about Arc Raiders, a game I think will be a breakout hit and the next big thing in the looter shooter genre, and I'm very excited about it, even though we don't have a ton of information yet. But from what I've seen, this game is doing enough to separate itself from the rest of the games in the genre to make it feel fresh, and that has me very excited. So if you weren't aware, Arc Raiders is a free-to-play cooperative third-person shooter where you and your squad of raiders unite to resist the onslaught of Arc, a ruthless mechanized threat descending from space. Scavenge the ruins of the past, wield tools and gadgets to outsmart the enemy, come prepared and plan ahead, but sometimes you just have to wing it. Now, from what we know so far, this game is going to be a true next-gen title, only coming to PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and also Steam. This means that it won't be held back by the limitations of last gen, and it will really take advantage of Unreal Engine 5 and destructible environments. That is where this game is doing something that no other looter shooter that I've seen yet is really doing, and that could potentially be a ton of fun. We see it in the trailer that you are able to use your environment to launch yourself up, rain down below on your enemies with a bunch of missiles and ballistics, all that kind of stuff. There's so much things that can be done with destructible environments to really change up the gameplay loop and keep things fresh on a consistent basis. Now, there are some things that we don't know about this game. We don't know how progression is going to work with your various characters. We don't know how the end game loop is really going to be. And that is somewhat of a concern. But if the game is fun, if you have a good time playing it, then the foundation is there for it to build upon. That is the number one thing this game will need, especially as a free-to-play title. Because what will happen is, we've seen it in the past with games like Warframe, where you are able to build slowly, steadily on a game that is solid at first, but then eventually becomes really good as they are able to add things over the course of time. And being free to play, as long as it is not overly monetized, will allow it to take advantage of that, and it doesn't have to be a perfect title at launch. Now, one is hoping that at launch it is a lot of fun, it has enough content to keep people interested and engaged, all of that kind of good stuff, and that is still remains to be seen. But the potential is there, and that has me excited. It seems to be that the game will be character based, because they did introduce us to various Arc Raiders like Celeste, as well as Lance, and a couple of the weapons that you can find on the website. Definitely check that out if you have not already. But yeah, the potential is there, and that's really why I'm excited. The other thing, this game doesn't look as sci-fi as a lot of other games in the genre. I feel like we've gotten too much of a similar type of vibe as far as the futuristic sci-fi looter shooter goes, when we look at not only Warframe and Destiny in the past, but then Outriders as well. We've also got things like First Descendant and Synced on the way, and those games all have that futuristic, full sci-fi, space magic type. That's not the way Arc Raiders looks. Arc Raiders looks like a more near future sci-fi. Yes, the enemies are all robots, but the weapons don't look too outlandish. They don't look too far-fetched from what we would see these days, and it allows you a little bit of a different feel from a lot of games out there, and I think that's important. You don't want every game to come out and look exactly the same. You don't want it to feel like a Destiny clone, a Destiny copy. You don't want it to be a Division clone, anything like that. You want it to have its own unique style and substance. So whether that is the case or not, we will have to really see in the future. But the more I've seen about this game, the more excited I am. We've seen some various weapons that you can operate. Like, there's a weapon called the Howitzer, and it says when Arc is around, wandering off on your own is a bad idea. Look at the Howitzer, for instance, a giant cannon that is not a one raider job. We need to choose your moment and target wisely, and that's a 2 raider job. Add a loader to that, and now we're talking about a 3 raider job. In other words, there's no room for lone wolves, but we might have a spot for a loose cannon or 2 or 3. So essentially, this weapon is going to be better utilized as a squad. And so how this works in game is going to be very interesting to find out. But overall, I think there's enough separation from Arc Raiders to anything else that we've seen out there right now that I'm really looking forward to this game more so than I might be for, again, First Descendant, Synced, and those kind of games, which I'm also excited about. And at the end of the day, all that matters is getting the game play right? Like having the game feel fun to play, having enough content there to keep people engaged over the course of time, especially as a free to play title when you want people to keep coming back, and then looking at what the end game is going to look like. If a game doesn't have anything like PvP, you need a robust end game with a variety of ways to get end game loot, whether you're a solo player, but more likely in this game as a squad, because it looks like everything is going to be built around those 3-player teams in Arc Raiders. So that's just something that I am looking forward to. I think this is a game with immense potential, and one that, if they do it correctly, will be playing for a long time to come, and that has me very excited. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously, shows you want to see more content of this nature, whether it's normal looter shooters that are currently out, whether it's Arc Raiders coming out, and obviously I will have a ton of content covering the game as we get closer to launch, once we find out the release date, and once we actually get hands-on with this game and gameplay. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. My name is JoPaWrites, and I'll catch you all later.